Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo, the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we're about to get started with Open Mic Live. But first, as always, a word from our sponsors.
At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only I3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
Here in Greenville County, we have 8 different places where a 911 call can be answered.
It is the largest county in South Carolina. It's a challenge.
The type of information that a telecommunicator gets from Radius Plus is location-based technology. You can see where the caller is, if they have a medical issue, if they speak a different language. They're immediately able to text to that caller in their native language. It reduces response times because it immediately gets first responders where they need to be.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Hello, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we're live. We're here for Open Mic. It is February 10th, 2022. Oh man, it has been a week. How is everyone feeling? How are you doing? Also, how does this look to all of you? Because I'm using a different camera. I just wanted to try it out. This is the camera that I usually use, a Sony a6400. The one that I'm using right now is a Sony a7 III. So I just wanted to switch it up. This is actually the camera that I'm going to be using for different products and stuff. But I just wanted to try it out to see how it looks. And to see if there's like a delay or anything else or anything like that going on, because speaking here and then looking over here at the screen, it looks like it's like maybe a millisecond off. I don't know, but you tell me how it looks. Otherwise, again, I'm just trying this out. But also with these higher end cameras, using them as a webcam and everything, you can see everything. I look old as fuck. Oh, it's all good though. Welcome everyone, and roll call. Where are you watching from? Where are you at, and what is your number? Again, it's Thursday. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. There's been a lot of stuff going on this week, but I will tell you that I'm at an 8, about an 8 or 9. Again, things are good. We've got, like I said, this new camera, and we've got some new toys that I'm using. and it's going to be good. I'm going to show you some of them here in a minute. So again, scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? And then where are you watching from? Let's see. Oh, Roger Moses, what's up, bro? Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't talked to you in a while. We used to work at in digital together. That's awesome. Welcome, welcome. I see Tim jumping in here. My homie Jeremy, what is going on, bro? Jamie's up in here, exhausted. 10-4 looks good. Okay, good. All right, awesome. And then Carly, what is going on? James, what's up? Yo, South Jersey, 8.5, excited for GTW, prepping for a webinar. All right, all right. Carly's at a 3. Okay, so hopefully we can get your number up there. I'm going to be sharing some stories. Again, if you have any 911 stories, any funny stories or incidents or anything like that, please throw them into the comments and I will make sure to read those off. But some of the stories that I have here are going to be some of my personal ones, some stuff that happened when I was in dispatch, and we'll get to it. And you can comment and you can add your own stuff and everything as well. So that'll be good. Tim is a 7 and he's out of Illinois. Jamie says, I'm so exhausted. I don't even have a number. Oh, I have letters. Z's. Oh, that is great. Yeah. Yeah. This is watching from Georgia. I like that. You don't have a number, but you have letters and they're all Z's. So that is excellent. Tim is loving the hats. Ooh, patron. That's a patron right there. Oh, and as always, this live broadcast is sponsored by InDigital, Rapid Deploy, as well as Carbine, and shout out to patrons. Thank you so very much for everything. And a shout out to new patron of the podcast, Mike Aurora, homie out of Texas. You need to make sure to check out everything that Mike is doing. He does some awesome, different displays, lights, all kinds of things. You can't really see it. You can see just a corner right there. But he made an awesome one for me, and it was, it's my homage to the original MTV logo. But this one, the M part of it is for I am, and the 911 is in there. So he made me one, and it's a light, and he's going to be working on some other stuff here coming soon. So make sure to check out what he's doing. He also makes some awesome challenge coin holders. So again, Mike Aurora, thank you, dude, for being a new patron of the podcast. And also posted episode 425. And episode 425 has my, actually the audio from my keynote is on there. And I want to give a shout out to everyone who not only attended, but sent messages and emails of kudos for that keynote. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Let me look back over here in the comments. And Carly says, I got the Rona. Oh, dude. I hope you're on the mend. I hope you're feeling good and that you're, at the tail end of it and everything. That sucks. Thinking of you though, sending out good vibes and everything. And James, yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I was recently on the Enduring the Badge podcast, and that was an excellent one. Let me show that here really quick and show this here on the screen. Boom, right there. Your worst day is our everyday. And that's me right there. I have a little more of a beard in that one. But Enduring the Badge podcast, it is created and hosted by Jerry Lund. Make sure to check out that, not only that episode, but also that podcast and subscribe. It is an excellent one in there. So make sure to check that out. I was telling him that I was going to be sharing that here as well. So again, check it out. It was an awesome time talking with Jerry, and I'm sure there's going to be more that we'll end up doing together. So that was a really good one. Let's see. Jamie here says, oh, Lavelle. Hey, y'all, what is going on? Welcome. See, Jamie says 14 years on night shift, started day shift a few weeks ago. This shit is hard. This shit is hard. I don't know if I will ever adjust, but I'm off tomorrow. I want to sleep in, so I refuse to go to bed. Raises glass. Tequila. Yeah. Let's see. Jamie says, just wrote it down. We'll definitely check it out. Yeah. Make sure to check it out. But yeah, the whole time, and as we're kind of talking about this right now, everyone who's watching, weigh in on this as well. So, talking about switching shifts, have you had to do that before? Or even, on the other side, being in on day shift for tons of years and then switching to night shift. How was that like for you? Like, so for me, my shift was midnight shift. Loved midnights. Loved them. And the hard thing though was that when I was oh, Carly says we swap every 12 weeks. Snaps. Okay. So for me, the entire time that I was in dispatch, I was on night shift, except for one stint on mornings. And um that was hard. It was pretty hard because I ended up getting promoted to supervisor, and we were going through shift change and all. And I was the newer supervisor, so I was low on the pole of seniority for that part of it. So I ended up getting the morning shift, and I remember craziness happening when I switched to day shift because I didn't know. Um, I guess I didn't know what to expect or what it was going to be like. Don't get me wrong. I had worked morning shifts before, especially on overtime, 16-hour shifts from 4:30. Well, I guess at the time before I went to supervisor, from 5 to 9 in the morning, 5 p to 9 a. That would suck. So for me though, I lived about 45 minutes away from dispatch. I lived in the county north of the county that I worked in. And when I ended up working morning shift, I would have to crash. Well, okay. So let me say this. When I started out on mornings, again, like I said, I was freaking out because it was always midnights. So I went to bed at 8 o'clock. Okay. I tried to go to bed at 8 o'clock so that I could be up early, and I couldn't sleep and couldn't sleep. And finally, I'd crash out, wake up at 3 in the morning. Okay. Because supervisors were 4:30 to 4:30. So I'd have to wake up at 3 in the morning. Okay. And try to leave by 3:30 so I could get there at 4:15 so that I could be briefed for, going into that next shift. And oh my God, it sucked. And before I say this next part, I want to go into the comments here really quick. See, Jeremy says overnights was awesome during my graduate studies. After the bars let out and the drunks went home, 6 hours of relative peace where I could essentially focus on studies. There you go. Loved it for that. James says I did 8 years of midnights, then moved to 12-hour shifts, switching days to nights every 2 weeks to now. We do 4 weeks of shift, 6A, 6P, switching to 6P to 6A. I hate the night to day switch. Dude, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine that. Lavelle here, night shift, 27 years, minus 9 months on evenings. Ooh, wee. Jeremy says as well, that was, of course, before I jumped to the dark side. Haven't worked shift work in a while. Thoughts with all of you that still do. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. No, for real. I feel the same way. Thank you for doing what you do to keep our community safe. And my homie Megan up in here, nights, weekends, holidays, and forced overtime. Oh, that was our saying. That's what we used to say in dispatch. Like, yeah, I'm available. I'll be here, nights, weekends, holidays, and forced overtime. And how do we do it? Because it's FM. It's fucking magic. That's how we do it. Oh man, it makes me miss working there. Let's see. Roger says 3P to 11P or 4P to 12 midnight was my favorite shift. Usually action for the entire shift. Ended my career on 8A to 4P. Hated midnight shift. My hat's off to those that love that shift. So Roger and everyone else. So Megan, who is in here, in the beginning, she was actually my supervisor. Then she ended up moving on to be the training coordinator, and then I was one of the supervisors. But we had tons of fun on midnight shift, and when there was nothing going on, surprisingly nothing going on. Usually when it was like wintertime, blizzard-like weather, and people are actually staying home, we would play Scrabble. we would play Scrabble to keep, our minds going and everything, because nobody was doing anything else. They weren't gonna go out there unless, really, really needed, because, a lot of the weather conditions and everything, I mean, it was just dangerous. So, we would be chilling in there playing Scrabble. But, you know, eh, going going to that morning shift though, um, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, what ended up happening though was a few of those shifts, and actually the first time this happened, and it might have happened once or twice, but the first time I had set my alarm. Okay. I set the alarm, but I put my stupid phone on airplane mode because I didn't want to see like notifications like it going bright on my phone or anything like that. And so I I ended up putting it on airplane mode. I know, dumbass, right? Dumbass. And I remember waking up, and when I woke up, God, it's like it was yesterday that I did this. I just remember, what time is it? And I remember getting my phone and looking at it, and it was almost 4:40. So I was really late. I was super late, yo. And I remember yelling. I remember jumping up and yelling and just like looking at my phone, and I was going, "Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe this." And I remember waking up my wife. Well, I mean, of course, because I was being loud, and she wakes up and she's like, "What the hell is going on? What's wrong?" And have my phone and I turn it and show it to her. I was like, "Look at the time. Look at the time." I was like, "I'm late." I was like, "I am so dead. I'm gonna lose my job. I'm a new supervisor, and how is this gonna look on me? I'm such a dick." So I took my phone off of airplane mode, and notification, 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 just text after text after text, voicemail, 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 and I'm like, oh my god." Oh my god, man. Like, I remember that so well. Like, I feel anxious right now. Oh, it was horrible. It was so I called dispatch, and one of my coworkers picks up the phone, and I hear Elegant Central, this is, and she says her name, and I said, "Hey, it's Ricardo." And she goes, "Are you okay?" I was like, I just woke up right now. I am so sorry." And she's going, "Ha ha ha." And I so wish that I had the tape, the audio for that, because it had to have been hilarious. She was just laughing and laughing. And I said, "Let them know I am on my way." And she goes, "Okay." And as she's hanging up, she's still dying laughing, and I'm just so pissed at myself. So pissed at myself. And I mean, I might have pissed myself as well, because I was so freaked out from what was going on, man. So it was nuts. I ended up getting the car and just take off, and I got there, and I went in, and it ended up being fine, but man, like, it was not good. It was not cool. I see in here Lavelle says, "Done that a time or two." Good, good. I'm not the only one. That is good. What I ended up doing is I set my alarm. I turned it up, and I set my alarm for to play Korn's "Blind." Now, if you know the song by Korn, "Blind," you know how it starts out. And if you don't know, it starts out with Jonathan Davis, the lead singer, yelling, "Are you ready?" And it's and so it's just loud right off the bat. So I would never miss an alarm again because I had it right next to me on my side of the bed. And as soon as it went off, it was super loud, yelling, "Are you ready?" Oh man, it's so bad. So bad, but so fun to look back on it now and to be able to talk about it and everything. But man, during the time though, shit. Mm-mm. It was not fun. I just remember in the car driving and being like, what are they gonna say? Fuck. Fuck. Just so stupid. Oh man, I was just talking to myself the whole time while driving, just like oh man, it was the funniest crap. It was so damn funny. Lavelle says, I bet your wife was not happy with that alarm. Well, okay, so here's the thing. It was actually a different song before that. Before I changed it to that, it was a different song. Actually, no. That's right. That was the first one. And I did get shit for it. So I changed the song to Wake Me Up. And the song was Down with the Sickness by Disturbed. So it was still as loud, but it was just ooh wah, ah, ah. Oh man, it was still funny shit. It was good stuff. Let's see. Roger here says, when I was at FW, we'd play Jenga or pick a word in the dictionary. Someone would shout out a number, then we'd thumb to the page in the dictionary. Then someone else would call out another number, and we'd count down that number of words. Then that word had to be used in the course of a dispatcher broadcast. LOL. What fun we used to be able to have. I think a few of us did something similar. We did something similar where we would choose a specific word, and they would the officers out on the road or us over the radio, we would have to figure out how to throw that word in there. It didn't happen all the time on our side, or at least not on my shift, but the officers would try to throw a few things out there, and it was always so funny to be able to hear them get that creative, right? That creative to be able to do it. And I was like he did it or she did it, either one, whoever did it. It was so much fun. Let's see. Carly says, I live 30 minutes away from my center. I woke up at 6:45 and was supposed to be there at 7. Ooh. I had to drive through a military base to get there. If I opened the doors, I would have taken flight. I was speeding so much. She says, I barely made it on time, though. That's funny, man. Yeah. So, okay. I'm going to get into some of these stories, but I want to share some of the stuff here first really quick. One of them is going to be super fast. The other one is going to take a couple minutes, but I want to show this to you guys. So here really quick, let me show you. I posted this yesterday, maybe, or earlier today. No, yesterday, I think it was. I posted this earlier. So this is just a teaser. I have a new media partner sponsor that's going to be coming on that I'm looking very much forward to announcing. And as you can see, my logo is on the left and the other one, there's a question mark on the right. However, if you know me, and I know you do, you know that I hide hints in everything I post when I'm teasing stuff. And there's an obvious hint in this image. I'll just leave it at that. But thank you. This is going to be a lot of fun to bring this industry partner on as a new media partner sponsor. So be looking out for that. I'm sure Um, you can do some detective work, and you'll be able to figure out who it is. I'll leave it at that. All right. So the other thing I want to share here before I start sharing some of the other funny stories that I have to share, it's I think it's just a couple of minutes long, but I wanted to share this with all of you so that you can see some of the cool stuff that I have that's coming up. As I said earlier in the broadcast, I've gotten some new toys, and I want to share this now. I will preface this by saying I had just gotten a haircut and I look like shit. But I don't care. I don't care what I look like. I wanted to put this video out. This video went out to patrons already earlier today, and I'm showing this to all of you. And this is for them because they get earlier content than anybody else. And well, I'll just go ahead and show it to you. So stay right here with me. Let me switch my setting here so that you can hear the audio. And here we go. Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and I have been waiting to show you guys this for a while. I ordered this a few months ago, and it's finally here. I'm really excited, so let's check it out. Yeah, dude. Okay, so we've got it unboxed and everything. This thing is solid. It is pretty nice, but what is it exactly? It's a hat press. That's right. So now I can get the patches that I have that say I am 901 on there. I can put them on the hats. The embroidery on those patches are perfect. So all I have to do is get a hat, put it in this baby right here, and press it down. And we've got some awesome hats that are going to be coming up. So we're going to test this out. Do I need to read this, though? Probably, but I'm not going to. We're just going to jump right in. And there you have it. You got a chance to see before anybody else, because you're patrons of the podcast, what I'm doing next. I've got this awesome Hotronics by Stahl. It's the Fusion IQ, and it's a hat press. And I've got the patches on there on the hat, and it looks amazing. And these are going to be going out soon. So thank you all for joining me. It's been a lot of fun. I'm going to play around with this some more, and there's going to be a lot more merch coming out from the podcast and Code 7 Dispatch Apparel. Have a good one. Yeah, dude. That was a lot of fun to do. As I said, I got some new toys. So the camera that I'm using right now is actually the camera that I used to do that video with as well. And the slow pan that you see that's part of the video, that's like 120 frames per second slow motion. And oh man, it looked really cool. So I wanted to be able to do it and show some of those slow motion pieces in there and everything. And some of the camera work was actually by my 17-year-old son Logan. So shout out to Logan, love you, bud. He was there holding on to it. I was like, I need you to help me, because my other tripod was somewhere else. I was like, I need you to help me and be my tripod. So he was doing that, and I was able to put that out there. And Mm-hmm. It looks pretty good. These hats are slick. They're fitted and everything. I've got gray and black, and I've got other patches and stuff that I'm going to be playing around with and putting out there. But the hats and everything are going to be coming up, and patrons actually will get be able to buy them first. That's a perk that they will get, and then after that, the next round of those hats will end up going out to for pre-order for everyone else. So it is going to be very, very cool, and I'm really excited. Like you can't really see it in back of me. You can kind of see the handle right there. But the thing is enormous, man, as you could see in the video. But it is really cool. It's one of the coolest things that I have. But yeah, it looks really good. So I wanted to show that to you guys here, and so that you could see it. Again, these hats are going to go out to for pre-order to patrons first. So I had put it out there, and my homie Mike Aurora ended up becoming a new patron today. So he'll be able to hit me up for this as well. And oh, my homie David Rosenberry, what's going on? Happy birthday, brother! I saw that you had a birthday, and yeah, it's gonna be really good. So make sure to look out for that. Again, patrons of the podcast get it first, and then it'll go out publicly for pre-order as well. So there's going to be a lot of different hats that are coming up, but man, these are sexy. They're very nice. They're just an excellent fit, and they're superb. So look out for those. All right. So now that we've gone over all of that, let's go back to the stories. Let's get back to some funny stories here. So, and if Megan is in here still in the audience, this is a story that she was kind of a part of, and I'm sure if she's listening to this right now and heard me say that, she's probably thinking, "Shit, what story is he going to tell?" Because, so, how many of you? And I'm pretty sure I've told the story before, but for those who are new and have not heard this story, that's why I'm going to be sharing this again. Um, how many of you have had to go to court for some of the phone calls that you've taken? I ask because for a while there, when I was in dispatch, every domestic call that we took, we're witness to that, right? We're witness to it because we're the ones on the phone, and we're on there, whether it be with the victim or the suspect or whichever. We're part of that, right? So for a while there, we were getting subpoenaed for every single call. Well, I mean, not every single call, but the ones that were going and had court cases and stuff that were going on. We would have to go. Okay, James is throwing an emoji right here. Yes. Anybody else, going in this, because I want to know if you ever had to sit on the stand as well. Did you have to go in, and did you have to, take the stand as a witness for those calls? And the reason I ask is because something happened to me, and I want to see if any of you dealt with this as well. And okay, we got something down here. David, yep, several times. All right. James is up in there. Jamie says, went once. Dude tried to say he didn't call 911. He took one look at me in my uniform, asked his lawyer who I was. Then they walked off, and I was told I could go because he pled guilty. Oh, man. Oh, that is funny. Let's see. Tim says 19 years and haven't been called yet. Dude, why would you say that? Why would you tempt fate? Okay, I got to know if you do end up getting called in here in the next month or two or whatever because of what you just put in there. I want to know. Because you put it out there in the universe. You put it out there. It's like saying, oh, like being in dispatch and saying, man, there's nothing really going on. We'll be all right. And then the shit hits the fan because it's basically the Q word, right? You're tempting fate. You're putting it out there. And I'm not going to say the actual word. I know, because some folks do watch this broadcast when there's nothing going on in dispatch and they're just chilling. So I don't want to say the word because then hell will break loose and then they'll be like, dude, Ricardo's a dick, man. He said the word. He said it. It's not the bird. The bird isn't the word. It could be. Roger says, one time in 30 plus years, only once. That's pretty good. That is really good. But also, how was that experience for you? What was that like going on there? Jamie's, that one was pretty funny going in there. Did anyone have any other experiences or anything going in? See, the other thing too was, for me, going in and going to the courthouse and stuff, like, I didn't want people to know that it was me, right, who took the phone call. Because I just, you don't know what's going to happen, right? You don't know if whoever it is that's in there is going to be like some, like, kind of an asshole or something, and them find out that it was you who took the call, and you're going to be taking the stand, and they just like knock you out or something. I don't know. I don't know that would happen. I'm just saying that it kind of tripped me out a little bit. Like, I don't want to be that guy for something to happen to. So I remember going in for a court case once, and I go in and I'm standing in like the little lobby area, and I'm at the window and I'm just waiting, and I'm waiting, and there's a lady sitting in there, and someone who was looked like possibly could be their attorney or something, and I'm thinking, I wonder if that's my caller. I wonder if that's that person. And so I'm just waiting, right? I'm just chilling there waiting, and I ended up someone ended up coming up, and they said, what's your name? And I gave my name, but I said it like softly. Oh, I almost said the word. I said it softly. And and the person goes, "What was that? Can you say that again?" And I said it a little louder, and the person goes, "Oh, you're here for such and such court case. You're the dispatcher." And I was like, "Yeah." And then I turn around, and when I turn around, the person's already, the lady's looking at me, and I'm like, "Oh no." But I thought, you ass, like, I'm trying to speak softly on purpose because I don't want these people to know that I'm the one. So so that happened, and then I'm waiting in there forever. And then they're like, "Yeah, you can go because this one is probably not going to go." I'm like, "All right, cool." Well, they end up calling me back. And well, hold on. Let me see here. David says, first time I had to go in, I was what? It was a man where is the bathroom at, because my nervous stomach was about to tear something up. Oh, dude, that's funny. After the first time, it got easier. I can see that happening. Yeah, because you don't know how it's gonna go in there. You don't know if you're gonna be seeing the folks that were, that are part of the call, which most of the time, yeah, that's what it's going on. That's what happens. And then, um, you don't know what type of questions they're gonna ask. So yeah, I can see you getting nervous, getting those nervous poops. You got to take that, that pregame dump before going, because you don't want to be on the stand and them asking you questions, and you're sitting there like, you're all sweating and everything. And I'm like, Mr. Martinez, are you okay? "Uh, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right." And and then something slips out, and well, not there. I just mean words. and, and you're like, shit. Oh, no, literally. Ah, what? Can you imagine how horrible that would be if you're on the stand as a witness for a phone call that you took? And as you're sitting there and they're asking you questions and you're listening, listening intently, you're just waiting for your moment to speak and you're like, "Oh no. Knock knock knocking on heaven's door right now." Oh no. And you just mm-hmm. That's my voice. You're right. That is you're like, man, I shouldn't have had that omelet. Dude, that would be horrible, man. Because the judge too would be staring at you, and you would feel the judge staring at you, judging you, because he's a judge or she's a judge. and you're like, stop looking at me. It's like I can feel your judgment on the side of my face. Stop it. And all you want to do is answer the damn question so that you can get off the stand and go drop some heat. That's it. Because you can't float any air biscuits while you're sitting there. People will hear it. The microphone is there. And when it gets to that point, floating an air biscuit is not safe because it might not be air. Oh my God, that would be so horrible. Oh, that's amazing. Oh my God. Oh, that'd be so bad. Someone needs to make a TikTok of that scenario. I'm not on TikTok, but I might do it just to do that scenario because that would be funny. Let's see. Hank says, the story sounds vaguely familiar. You're right. You're right. Very familiar. James says, I almost had to go for a second time for another case. That one got canceled when the shooter changed his mind and pled guilty. The incident happened at the traffic circle. I mean, intersection. No, it's a circle. In that spot, that one picture that you sent. Oh my Lord. Oh, that is craziness. Well, as we're talking about, the crazy things that might happen while you're there or on the stand or waiting to get there. So that specific case, that same one that I ended up getting sent home for, I got called in the next day and they let me leave from dispatch to go to court so that I could be there. Because otherwise I was probably going to get arrested for not showing up when I had been subpoenaed. And so I go in, okay? I go into the courthouse and they put me in this room with all the other witnesses. And I'm sitting there and I walk in and I thought, I don't know if I'm in the right spot. And the prosecutor is like, Mr. Martinez, this is where you need to wait with everyone else. I'm like, okay. And as I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, all the witnesses are getting pulled in. And someone comes back and they're like, we'll get to you here in just one moment. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'm sitting there and I am waiting and it's just taking forever. It was long enough that I started to doze off. That's how long it was. So finally I get up and I leave the room because I want to see what the hell is taking so long. I want to know what's going on. So I go open the door to the courtroom, which it's like when you open the door, there's another little area right there that you can stand in before walking into the actual courtroom, right? And so I walk in and I'm like I'm listening. Is there no one there? What? So I go and I open the door and I walk in. The entire courtroom is empty. Everyone is gone. Gone. I was like, what the for real? Not one person is in there. Everyone had gone home. They had adjourned for the day and they never went back and told me. Isn't that some bullshit? Not one person, no one, not even poked their head in to say, hey, yo, we don't need you anymore. We're adjourning for the day. We'll call you back tomorrow. Not one, not one. And I remember at that point, my stomach is like eating itself because I was starving and I was thirsty and I'm just like dying there. But I couldn't believe it. I was like, these assholes left me here. Like not one person was there. So I was livid. I was pissed. And so I'm on the second floor. I go down to the first floor to leave. And as I'm leaving, some of the officers that I worked with were part-time court officers as well. So I'm leaving and they're standing there in front, kind of locking up, and stuff. And I'm leaving and they said, so how'd it go? How did court go? Did you do all right? And I said, no, I didn't do all right. And they're like, oh, dude, what happened? I was like, no, 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 no. It wasn't anything that I did or sat on the stand or whatever. It was nothing like that. It was the fact that those assholes left me there. And they said, what? Like, you're shitting me. I was like, no, dude, I sat there forever and no one came to tell me that they were adjourned for the day. So I remember going back to dispatch and I was talking to my coworker, Megan, and she goes, so how did it go? And I said, they forgot me, man. And she goes, are you shitting me? And I said, no, I'm not shitting you. Not shitting you. Not this time. I was like, they forgot my ass, man. Like no one ever told me. I was sitting there the whole time and I went into the courtroom and it was empty. There was no one there. So that was some bullshit. So that's why I was telling this story and wondering if any of you have had to be on the stand or go into court or anything like that, because this is what happened to me. How embarrassing. Yeah, dude, very much so. I remember my face was just super hot and I'm sure it was red because I was pissed, but I was also just, man, like what the hell? Like you couldn't even, not one person could go over there and there was no one who thought, well, are all the witnesses out? Like maybe we should double check. Maybe you should double check, because I was just chilling there. There was not one person left. It was like I was in a fucking zombie apocalypse and the world was ending and I was the only one left. The next day, though, I went in and the prosecutor, like everybody was apologizing. And I think I got like a sandwich out of it or something. A sandwich and a soda and a pop. But everything ended up being fine. I went on the stand and they're like, sir, is that your voice? And I said, yes. And I think that was it. I just had to say that was my voice. And do you remember hearing this? And I was like, yeah, I do. And then when they did the cross-examination, the dude's like, how do we know that was your voice? I was like, because I worked it. That was my call. And I told him the whole call. And then they played the tape again. And I was like, see, it's me. And they're like, okay, you can go. I was like, all that 3 days. And that was it. that was all I did on there. Let's see. Lavelle says like the 7,200 miles, not even a full free flight, a sandwich, get out. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's how it was. Oh man. So another story that I have, um, and this doesn't have to do with dispatching, but it was when I first started dispatching, and it was just something that I learned. So, how many of you know how to drive a stick shift? I'm sure a lot of you know how to drive a stick shift, and the reason I ask is because when I very first started dispatching back in 2001, oh my god, it's a long time ago. Holy shit. Um, I had a little Neon, and I ended up getting rid of it. A cousin of mine was selling a GMC Jimmy, and it was a four-door GMC Jimmy, and it was a 5 speed. I had never driven a stick shift before. Excuse me. And I remember I was sitting in dispatch and I was talking to some of the officers, and I think maybe the chief as well. And I said, "So today I'm going to learn how to drive a stick shift." And they go, "What?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "After I get out of dispatch today, I'm going to pick up my new car." It was a 1991 all white GMC Jimmy 5 speed, and it had like these fat performance tires on it. It was I missed that truck. It was so much fun. But they were telling me, Roger says 2001. I started in 1984. Snaps. I was 3 years old. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was born in 1981. But yes, 2001 is when I started my dispatching career. Um, I'm telling them this, and they said, "Do you know how to drive a stick shift?" And I said, "No, I don't." And they said, "So, are we going to get any phone calls for like this crazy person and a Jimmy that doesn't know how to is not driving well, possibly drunk, like swerving all over the road type thing?" And I said, "I don't know. Maybe you might." So, um, David says, "Roger, you were dispatching before they had radios." Oh, that's funny. So I end up leaving dispatch, and I walked over to my cousins, because they just lived like across the street. It was maybe a 5-minute walk from dispatch. Excuse me. So I go over there, and it's my cousin's husband, Jace. His name is Jace. Awesome dude. Love that guy. And he goes, "So, are you ready? Are you ready to learn?" I was like, "Yeah, man, let's go." So he drives to the high school, the local high school, and we're in the parking lot. And I thought, "Man, I'm an adult. I'm 21, but we're going around the parking lot like I'm a teenager," which I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. And so he's showing me the basics. He's like, "All right, you gotta use both of your your feet, clutch, gas. You got to keep them in, the whole thing, going through the gears and stuff." And I'm just watching him, and we're going around in circles and everything. And he goes, "All right, it's your turn." And I remember thinking, wow, this is just like when I first started dispatch. I watched my trainer take that first 911 call, and then it was my turn right after that. So I get in the driver's seat, and I'm stalling out, and he's just busting up laughing at me. I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do this on the road." And the chief, he already is going to be on the lookout. Like, they're going to pull me over, and some bullshit is going to happen. I know it. I know it. So I think I was driving around for maybe 45 minutes, maybe 45 minutes. And he goes, "All right, I think you're good to go." And I was like, wait, what?" And he goes, "That's it. Like, now you just got to keep practicing, and you've got it. You'll be able to do it." And I was like, hell no. I was like, you for real, man? And he goes, yeah. So he ended up driving back to his place, which wasn't too far away. It was like 5-10 minutes away. He wanted me to drive. I was like, hell no. Like, I don't feel confident enough, dude. So we go back and drop him off. And he's like, you don't have to go home, but you're not going to stay here, basically. I was like, shit, it's my turn now. What do I do? So I'm putting it in reverse and it was fine. Like reverse was easy. But then I go to drive and stall out. Like, fuck. I'm just in the the wraparound here. I'm not even on the main road. So I end up getting on the main road and I'm actually doing okay. And I end up going to my mom's house and picking up my siblings. And I said, let's go for a ride. Let's go ride around because I need to continue to practice this. So we're driving and we're driving. Then we get on the highway. Okay. We get on the highway and I'm driving. I'm like, oh, I'm all right. Well, we get to a stoplight as we're going back to my mom's house. And I'm waiting for the light to turn. And it turns green. I go to take off and I stall out. And it was the most embarrassing shit ever because there's cars in back of me that are beeping and beeping and I can hear them yelling. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to call the sheriff's department. And then I'm going to have to explain not only what I'm doing, but also they're probably, I'm going to say, hey, well, I'm out of dispatch, out of Frostproof in the city. And then they're going to make fun of me even more because they're probably going to call the chief and be like, hey, one of your guys is over here in the middle of the highway and he can't get out. So let me tell you, as you know, if you have siblings, when shit happens to you, they will make sure that you know that you fucked up. They will let you know that you fucked up. So I'm sitting there, the light turns green again, and I stall out. And I stall out. And I stall out. I threw my emergency lights on because I couldn't get it to go. I'm pretty sure we went through 4 cycles of traffic lights before I finally took off. And when we finally took off, in the whole time, I'm just sweating. And oh, it was horrible. And because people are beeping, people are yelling out their windows, like, get the fuck off the road. And I'm like, I'm trying. You have no idea. I'm trying. And my siblings are just laughing and laughing at me. And they're like, dude, why did you buy this car, you dumbass? You can't even drive it. And I just remember saying to them something like, you guys could be a little more supportive, okay? You could cheer me on or something. Well, I ended up finally getting it to go and everything ended up being fine. I did not get pulled over. But man, that's how I learned, by crashing and burning. Not literally crashing, I just mean the attempt of me learning how crash course in driving stick shift, and that was all in dispatch, and everybody there in dispatch being like, oh man, you'll be all right, but if you're going to be on the main road you might get pulled over. It was some bullshit, man. Now, for any of you who also drive stick shift, did you have anything like that? Did you have any issues? Because I surely did. Let's see. David here says there is nothing like putting out a speeding reckless driver dispatch on the dispatcher who you just relieved of duty, and then they actually get pulled over. Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you know what? That's a good segue to the last story that I want to share here. So something like that happened to me. I was visiting my dad. Okay, this was wintertime. I was visiting my dad, and I was driving some of the back roads to go back home. And I I was I'm driving, and as I'm driving, I looked and I thought I saw a deer, and it startled me, and my hand slipped, and I went to the side a little bit and hit the rumble strip and came back in. Well, what I didn't notice right away was that when that happened, a deputy passed me, and I thought, oh no, like I'm gonna get pulled over. I'm gonna get pulled over. I know it. It's gonna happen. And then I thought, wait, why am I freaking out? Like I didn't do anything wrong. I got startled by a deer that I thought was coming at me and stuff. And I went to the side. I didn't go into oncoming traffic. I went off the side just a little bit, enough to hit one of the rumble strips and come back, and everything was fine. But that when something like that happens, like you're like freaked out, you start sweating right away, and you smell like beef. And and I was looking in the mirror, because I was watching to see if the deputy was going to turn around, and no, deputy continued going. I was like, oh, okay, good. Continue going, drive home. Had a little scare. You're all right. You're okay. And then I look up in the mirror, and sure as shit, the deputy is right there. I was like, hell no, I did not even see him pull up. Yes, Carly, hot Vegas bologna. That's exactly what it smelled like. Hot Vegas bologna. So I'm driving, and deputy gets real close on my ass, and I'm like, I know what you're doing. I know exactly what you're doing. You're taking my plate down, and then you're going to back off. You're going to run my plate, and then you're going to pull my ass over. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened. So I pull over because lights go off. I'm like, shit. Pull over. Now, at the time, again, like I said, it was wintertime. I had a beanie on, and my beard was like, poof, was huge. Okay. And I'm sitting there waiting. It's taking forever for the deputy to walk up. And all I can think is, why is this person taking forever? The light is shining in a spot where like I can't see when they're walking up, right? And then I notice a flashlight like looking kind of inside my car as the deputy's getting closer to me. And the deputy walks up, and I know this deputy with an accent, okay? The deputy is Chilean, and had a kind of a thick accent. However, when the deputy walks up to the window and I look out, I hear, "Good evening." Like no accent at all, no accent. And I'm like, "What? Who do you think you are?" I didn't say that. I was thinking it. And I said, "Hey, what's up, so and so?" And they look at me. The person looks at me and says, "How do you know my name? Have I arrested you before, or how do you know me?" And I said, "Are you serious?" And the dude was like dead serious. I had never seen him like that before, because we were always like joking and everything else. And I'm sitting there, and then I started getting, nervous. And he goes, "Oh, what is going on? My camera just messed up here." "Well, now you can't see me, which is fine, I guess. That's interesting. Again, this is a new camera. I want to make sure you can hear me though, and see, what happens with that." Oof, it's too hot. It's not gonna show up. Oh, there it is. All right. So that is something that I have to think about the next time I think about using this camera. If I use this camera, is that it heats up. We got to remember that. Okay. We can hear you. Okay, good. You can hear me. Good, good, good. At least you can hear me. I see that it's kind of weird now. Hopefully that's not messing up your eyes like it's messing up mine. But if it goes out again, you'll be able to hear my voice and everything will be fine. Yep. See, there it goes again. So let's turn off the camera, and you'll just have to listen. You'll just have to listen for a moment. So what ends up happening is I'm there, and I'm thinking, what is going on? this person doesn't know me. And he says again, he goes, how do you know me? And I said, for real? Like, you really don't know who I am? And he goes, no, I don't know who you are. And I said, okay, well, all right, well, let me get you my license and registration. And I go to get it. I get it. And I turned back around and I took my hat off. I took my hat off and I said, so and so, it's me. It's Ricardo from dispatch. And the deputy goes from the serious no accent mode to, oh, Ricardo, what the hell, man? I didn't even realize that was you, yo. He goes, I haven't seen you in forever. And you've got you've got your beard and everything else. And he didn't know who I was. It was the most funny shit because he hadn't seen me in forever. So the last time he saw me, I was clean shaven, and he didn't know that I had a beard. So it was funny that was going on. And I got a warning and everything else. Again, he told me why he pulled me over. But um he left, and I was getting ready to take off, and he ends up coming back, and I thought, oh hell no, I'm hit. He's gonna hit me with something, like a ticket, or I don't know, something. And he goes, hey, he goes, you know, you want to know why it took me so long to walk up to you? And I said, yeah, dude, I do. I said, I was wondering why it took so long for you to come up and everything. And he says, well, when I ran your plate, he goes, have you any idea how many people have your name? And a lot of those folks that came back had warrants. One of them was like a murder suspect. I was like, holy shit, are you for real? He goes, yes. He goes, but yours was the only one with a Roman numeral 2, and you were completely clear. He goes, but I had to look out for myself to make sure that everything was safe. And I thought, oh my Lord, man, that is the craziest thing. But it was also funny. And that's why I tell the story, because it was funny because of the fact that I had, every time I spoke to him, he had an accent, but when he pulled me over, he didn't have the accent. And oh, it was the funniest shit. So funny. Ah, well, we are past the hour, and maybe that's also why all of this happened too, is because that was a sign, my camera telling me, hey dude, it's past the hour now, and you need to log off. So I hope this wasn't too weird for you going into the end of this with having a black screen as I'm talking and everything else. And then let's see here. I've got something down here. Jeremy says, bro, I'm your newest patron. Should have done it a long time ago. Keep up the wonderful work, my friend, for the benefit of the best public safety profession out there. Our first responders. Hashtag I am 911. DTBG4, a new hope. Yeah, brother. Thank you so very much. I'm glad that all of you can still hear me. Again, I apologize for the screen going blank, and I will switch back to my other camera, and I'll figure out this other one. This other one is just for product stuff anyway. I just wanted to test it out, but we'll be back to the Sony A6400 afterwards. But again, thank you all so very much for being here. I appreciate it very much. Shout out again to new patrons, Mike Aurora and my homie, Jeremy DeMar here. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. For those who are watching, if you have any comments, questions, or you want to be a guest on the show, you can email us, and that's going to be wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. And also, if you can share with me really quick, where are you at now? Out of all the stories and everything we were talking about and such, what is your number now on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 being shitty, 10 being awesome. I am way above a 10. I hope that if you had lower numbers, that your number went up at least 1 or 2, because that's what we do here for Open Mic. We're sharing funny stories, checking in with each other, just making sure that everyone is okay, in support of each other, healing and getting some sort of closure through laughter, because laughing is good medicine. Again, thank you all so very much for being here. This episode has been sponsored by InDigital, Rapid Deploy, as well as Carbine. And a big shout out again to patrons. If you want to be a patron, you can join up and support us. Patreon.com/WTT podcast. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. And when I come back, I'll have the other camera, so you'll be able to see me throughout the entire time instead of just this blank screen, which is kind of funny that it's like this right now. But also, for the flagship show, well, before I get to this part, for patrons only, Open Mic Live, as well as the Dispatchers Roundtable, there are audio versions for patrons only, which is a perk to them. So if you want to hook us up, again, patreon.com/WTT podcast, make sure to check it out there. And then to listen 24/7, it's available 24/7 for the flagship show Within the Trenches podcast. That is on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and withinthetrenches.net. Thank you all once again for everything. I appreciate it more than you know. I see people checking in here, numbers, and it is all good. I'm glad numbers have gone up. Even if it went up a point, a half point, whichever, I'm glad you are doing well. Thank you for the job that you do, and the service that you provide to those out there as the first responders, the most vital piece of public safety, and that is the Thin Gold Line. Thank you all so very much. Have an excellent night, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers.